Hey, well done, you've made it to the end. This is the 8th and final video of our preparation for assessment next week. And we're moving on from genetic disorders and thinking about the ethical and social issues around screening for embryos. So if we have a sample of DNA from an embryo, it can be screened for genetic disorders that we know about. We can look for the genetic code. That material, that genetic material, can be obtained in two ways. Chorionic villus sampling is a more modern way, and in this procedure, cells, so you can see this syringe here, are inserted through the vagina and the cervix, and a sample of placenta is taken. Now think that the placental cells were made at the same time as the fetus developed, so they contain the same DNA as the unborn child. So by taking some placental cells, you're getting a genetic sample of the unborn fetus inside the mother's uterus. An older method called amniocentesis involves using a large syringe and a needle to remove a small amount of amniotic fluid from around the unborn child. Floating about in that amniotic fluid, there will be cells from the fetus, and the genetics can be extracted from those cells, and again looking for the genes that cause inherited disorders. Notice that chorionic villus sampling can be done at an earlier stage in pregnancy, which may be an advantage in terms of making a decision for the mother in terms of whether she wanted to proceed with the pregnancy. Amniocentesis can take place a bit later. So we can screen these cells for genetic disorders. Both procedures are invasive and therefore carry risk of infection, risk of damaging the fetus, risk of causing a miscarriage. So there's many things to think about before a couple decided they might have their embryos screened. If they did, then other people have strong feelings about this type of issue. So make sure that you can think of some reasons why there might be social, ethical, and economic issues around this procedure of screening embryos. At the end of the day, in our society, embryo screening is a couple's choice, and whether to proceed with a pregnancy if it showed up some damaging genetic disorder would be the mother's choice to decide whether she proceeded with a pregnancy. But people have strong views. You should develop your own ideas and make up your own mind about what would you think. You may well decide that embryo screening is acceptable in some situations and not in others.